Hey, what's going on, my brothers and my sisters? This is Daryl Cook with sonsofthunderpro.com, and I'm excited because I get to answer in this video one question that I get over and over and over again. And I was recently asked again, and I said I want to sit down and I want to put some content together that's going to talk about grooves. And we use grooves in so many different places. We use grooves when we're playing at sheds. We use grooves when we're offering time at church. We use grooves if we are producing our own music. Maybe you have Studio One, or you have Logic Pro or Pro Tools or something like that on your computer, that you want to get into some more production concepts. You just want some simple grooves that you can put together, but you want to have some concepts that will take your grooves to that next level. And so I want to talk about grooves in this video. There's 5 concepts that I want to cover, and I want to talk about how you can take these concepts and really use them to build some nice grooves, no matter how simple or how complex your groove patterns may be. So let's start with concept number 1. And this one is very important because this is the beginning. Concept number 1 is simply this. When it comes to any groove, no matter what you're playing, it could be shout music, it doesn't matter what it is, you need to establish the format and structure of your grooves. I talk to so many people who, when they think about grooves, they think that everything just comes to you naturally, or everything is just by ear, everything just happens organically. If you're going to play grooves effectively, you need to have a sense of format and you need to have a sense of structure. And we talk about format and structure, we're talking about what key is your groove in, or what's the baseline of your groove, what's a melody that your groove is going to take shape with. But then not just key, baseline, and melody, but style. Is it going to be R&B? Is it going to be gospel, funk, jazz, or is it going to be a mixture, some neo-soul concept? When we talk about establishing a format and structure, we're talking about those components. So throughout this video, I'm going to work on one basic groove, and we're just going to call it from the key of E flat, even though I'll be playing more of a minor mode. And if we're going to call it from E flat, let me just give you the numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm back at 1. So what I'm just going to play for this groove is a simple 6 and 2. That's going to be our whole groove, 6 and 2. So the groove that we're going to be covering in this video is going to be this simple groove, and it's going to be pretty much 2 notes on the pattern. And the bass line is going to hold us down for us. It's going to be a C, and it's going to be an F, a 6, and a 2. So for the groove that we're going to be covering, we know the key, we know the bass line, and this groove is going to be more smooth, especially how I'm going to chord it. But it is going to have like a funk component too, because I'm going to have some funk guitar in here that I programmed to go along with this groove. So 1, we've established the format, so we know this is going to be a simple 6 and 2. So after we establish the format and the basic structure, concept number 2 is, what are the basic chords of the groove? So once you know the format and structure, you can begin to go with what are the chords. And so because we're going to be, we're calling this from the key of E flat, we're going to use basic diatonic chord theory, which says that the 6 is minor and we're going to play the 2 minor. So if the 6 is minor, that's going to be a C minor, and that's going to be an F minor. Okay? So I programmed a bass and a guitar. Let me take the guitar out for right now, and I'm just going to play the bass. So that's the basic groove. It's on the F now. To the 6. To the 2. It's our basic groove. Okay. So that's our basic groove. So we're just going C, F. I'm playing the C minor chord, and make sure you got these notes. I'm playing the C, E flat, G. Now for the F minor, I'm playing F in the bass, F, A flat, C. Now, I promise you, this is going to get thicker as we go, but I want to take you through this because I want to show you how even a simple groove like this, you could take this to the next level. So we established the format. We know we're just playing a 6 and a 2. We know the key. We're going to be in the key of E flat. Of course, like I said, the bass line is just going to be 6 and 2. I haven't had a melody yet, but style-wise, I know this is going to be more of a smooth but kind of funky groove. And then my basic chords is I'm playing just minor chords. I'm playing basic diatonic chord theory, which says that the 6 is minor and the 2 is minor. Okay, so now that we got that, we hear what our groove is sounding like, and now let me go ahead and add this guitar in here too, okay? And now let me just say something about this guitar before I move on. Now with this guitar, I'm using a plugin called what was it called? Funk Guitars by Scarbeat. I'm using it in the Contact Player. And basically they just sample like a funk guitars, and you tell it the chords that you are going to play, and then it'll play it the way guitars would. So I put in a C minor chord, and I put in a F minor chord as well. So that's how that groove is playing. And we're going to the 2. I wanted to hear this in the context of the guitar playing. So let's go to the third concept. So number one, we want to establish our groove, and part of that has to do with what key we playing, in, what's the bass line or the basic numbers, with the melody, if we know the melody up top, and then style. So do we want to establish the format structure? 2, we want to know the basic chords. We already got that. So 3, we want to know how we can enhance these chords. And this is where a lot of people run into grooves in which they know what the groove is playing, but all they know is the basic, you know, and that's all they playing. And that's cool, but there's so much more that you can do. So when we talk about enhancing chords, a couple things we can do. We can extend the chords in that we're not just playing triads, we're playing ninths, tenths, 11ths, or 13ths. Or we can enhance the chords by playing grace notes. We can use runs, we can use flares and crush tones. We can use passing chords, you know, which is inclusive of chromatics or moving the whole tones or minor thirds. And we can also use chord progression. So I know I gave you a lot, but these are all ways in which we can enhance the chords that we're going to be playing. Now, of course, I can't cover all of these in this video, but why don't I talk about just one of the primary ways, and that's just extending the chords. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend this C minor chord, and we're going to extend it to a C minor 9. And this does wonders with this by itself is going to do wonders with this groove. Let me break down the voicing I'm playing. I'm playing the C in the bass, a B flat, D, E flat, G. The good thing about this groove, I mean, this chord, is that I can play it in all of these, you know, different inversions, but this inversion that I'm using. I'm also going to play the F minor 9. That's an F, E flat, G, A flat, C. So, so let me play it with the groove. That sounds better already. Just playing that minor 9. Let me go back to the basic way. That's the basic groove. depth to the chord. So even there, so I want you to think about that, because even in your own grooves, just knowing your minor 9 chord is going to really open that chord up for you. And not just knowing your minor 9 chord in your right hand, but also being able to voice a variation of it in your left hand. So let's just say that, well, first of all, let's just take a look at what the notes of the minor 9 are. Now, if the bass player is holding down that C, I don't necessarily have to have that C in my left hand. But sometimes what I'll do is might just play the E flat, or I might play the G, something like that in my left hand, and that's gonna free me up to do some stuff in my right. So let me play the C so that you're seeing what it looks like. And I want to point something out to you. I'm kind of adding to this voicing now. So now I'm playing the 11. So let me just play like a straight C minor 11. You got the 9, you got the 11 in there. But let's take a look at this even closer. That how I get the chord is I could simplify and look at it as me playing 2 chords. I'm playing a C minor in my left hand and a B flat chord in my right hand. I put them together. I got this 11. And now I'm really in a good place with this groove. So just sticking that chord out. I'm doing the same thing with the F. And it's really opening up this groove now. So I wanted to show you something, how you can get that how you can get that minor 11 real easy. Is you can find it in any key. If you play your minor chord in your left hand in root position, and you just go a half step down, I mean the whole step, so the half step is the B, the whole step is the B flat, you're going to play that B flat chord. Let's say we wanted to play the A minor 11. We're going to play the A minor straight, and what's the whole step from the A is a G. Let's say we wanted to find that on the B. A lot of people don't like playing the B minor, but we'll take that B minor. It's called C flat because how I have it programmed, but that's a B minor chord. And what's the A? So let me just show you one more. Let's say we're taking the I'm gonna play the A flat minor. So A flat minor, and what's the whole step is the G flat. So it's just an easy way for you to find that chord. So going back, we're talking about enhancing this chord. You want to make sure you have this. So we're taking this groove. So that's where we are right now. We're on phase 3. We're just enhancing the chord. So, we phase 1, we established the format. 2, we know the basic chords. 3, we're beginning to enhance the chords. Let me give you 2 more ways you can enhance these chords, and we're going to talk about grace notes for a second, and we're going to talk about little simple runs that you can do. So, grace notes. So let's just say I want to voice the D, which is the 9. And then I want to voice the G when I get to that F minor. So let me take a look at what I'm doing. I'm rolling up from the C, D flat to the D. Same thing with the F. And watch this. See how nice that sounds? I'm going to play it again. I'm going to do it an octave now. So you can get creative just playing different notes, but gracing on those notes. That's so approaching the D, I'm either a half step or I'm rolling from the whole step. Or same with the G. Or and it's just a nice way of just making this chord sing, and making it talk. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about with just like in enhancing, and this isn't this is kind of something extra. I didn't plan on this, but when I'm playing with a bass player, what I try not to do is muddy it up on low end too much, because the bass player's got that. So I want to, if I can at all possible, I want to stay in mid to maybe some highs, but won't stay here. I might do some small stuff down there just to kind of accent, but I want to do most of my work around middle C or above, just because the bass player has the bottom. Okay, so we already talking about, we're probably talking about in enhancing the chorus. I want to give you just a nice little run that you could do, because I want you to begin to think about this stuff in a different way. So I got this C minor here. Remember I said you got the C minor and you got the B flat. One of the things that you could do is you could take runs that outline the chords that you're playing. And because we had this B flat here in our right hand, I wanted to show you a simple run that you can use to play on this. So you can do something like this. So I want to give you that. And I'm going to give you that. I'm going to play F, B flat, E flat. So going to the D. Then I'm taking the B flat chord all the way down, B flat, F, I'm going E flat D, and then I'm playing the same thing, B flat, F. So all together. And you can play any variation of those notes, but I want to play it in that context. So you have that that you can use. That's a nice little run that you can use. And again, we're just on a simple 2-note groove. So I want to give you one more thing when we talk about enhancements, and I want to talk about passing chords just real quick. We're talking about just enhancing this. So passing chords, whenever we're going to a 6, we can get there from a 7, or whenever we're going to a 2, we can get to a 2 from a 6. So we're using basic chord progression theory. I don't have a whole lot of time to explain, but just remember those concepts. Whenever you want to get to a 6, you can get there from a 7. Or I should say, whenever you want to get to a 6, you get there from a 3, actually. So whenever you get to a 6, you get there from a 3. So 1, 2, 3. That'll be G in the key of E flat. Whenever you want to get to a 2, you can get there from a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a 6 will lead you to a 2. A 3 will lead you to a 6. So I just want to give you a simple chord that you can play from the 3 to the 6. This is the gist of that chord. It's a G7, sharp 9, sharp 5. I'm going to show you how to use this in this groove. So you have a G, F, B, E flat, G, B flat. Okay? And that's going to lead us to the 6. Now I want to give you a chord that'll lead you into the 2. So, and I can always use a chord progression as well. So I can use well, no, I won't even touch that. Let me just give you this chord for right now. So you have an E, B flat, E flat, A flat, C, and then we're here. See how that works? So here's one. So real quick, I'm gonna play it again. Let's go on to the C. Go on to the F. You see what I'm doing on my right hand? I'm just going E flat, A flat, C, but I'm going the A flat to the G and the C to the B flat. So, and here I'm going from this chord to a F minor. Okay? So let me just show you that within the context of this groove. See, that works. Okay? So, that's 3. So that's what we're talking about, enhancing your chords. But then number 4, we're talking about grooves. Number 4 is having multiple ways of getting to the same place. That's the 4th concept. So I won't spend a lot of time here, but let me just give you just one real quick. So you see this chord right here, we use this to get to the 6th. Well, what I can do is, instead of just playing that chord straight out, I can take it up, and I can take it up. So I'm playing this right here, the E to B flat and the A flat chord. Let me take it up 2 half steps or a whole step. And what I can do is I can drop it like that. Or instead of going up 2 half steps, I can just go up 1 half step and just play the F and the B. Play this A chord and just play that. I know it sounds different, but let's listen to it in the context of the groove. So yeah, that's works. Let's try the whole thing. Okay, so that's a different way of getting to the same place. I didn't just play this chord. I did. So that's 4. You want to have multiple ways of getting to the same place, and then the 5th concept that I like to talk about when it comes to grooves and really how to think about grooves is being able to have multiple approaches. So I can just lay on the chorus. I can go, you know, where I'm just laying on the chorus. I can go, where I'm playing more choppy. You know, so these are all different ways. These are 2 different ways that you can change your approach, and it helps that whenever you're playing a groove that you can change your approach. So, and when we talk about approach, let me just add something else, and this can kind of work for enhancement and it could work for approach, in that you think about what you want to add sound wise. One of the things I'm doing is I'm using Jamal Hartwell's MK Sensation. Right now I'm just using the EP2. Well, I'm going to put a string and I'm going to put a pad on there. So where it's kind of giving me a nice warm sound. Okay. So let me try that when it comes to the groove. That warmness of the pad is really giving it a whole different sound and really giving it a nice texture to the overall feel of the song. It's my hope that you enjoyed that training. And before I move on, I just want to talk about the takeaways. And the takeaways are those 5 concepts that we talked about. If you're going to play any groove, whether it's some sort of churchy groove, whether it's a smooth groove like we did, or anything funky, whatever that groove is, number one, you've got to establish the format and you've got to know the structure. And that's inclusive of the key, the bass line, the melody, the style, whether it's R&B, gospel, funk, or jazz. So you want to establish that format. Number two is you want to know the basic chords. Is it more minorish? Is it major chords? Is it we using any diminished or we using any augmented chords? You want to know the basic chords. Number three, you want to know how to enhance those chords. So do you know any ninths? Do you play any tenths, 11ths, or 13ths? Which ways in which we enhance those chords. We also can use runs and grace notes, but we don't just want to play the basic chords. I don't just want to play a C minor chord, but I want to know how to play that C minor 9 so I can add to it. I can enhance that sound. Number four is you want to have multiple ways of getting to the same place. So if I need to get to a 6, I ought to be able to do one way, I get there a certain way, or maybe I have another progression to get there another way. I have some sort of passing chords. But you want to have multiple ways of getting to the same place. And then number five, you want to be able to adjust your approach, whether that's padding, laying on the chords, or that's playing it choppy. But you want to be able to adjust how you're playing the actual chords and the structures that you may be playing in that particular groove. So those are the 5 essential concepts that you need to have. And we spent some time going through this 2-chord groove, but I've also prepared something for those of you who want more. And we took it to the next level, and we've prepared even more training. And if you're interested, I want to talk about that momentarily and show you how you can take what we talked about over the last 20 minutes and you can even take it to the next level. Because yes, there's another place for you to go. There's more for you to learn, and I want to break that down for you. GrooveLab is a 3-hour course, and it's designed to give you a framework and to give you concepts for thinking about grooves that you want to play. Whether you're playing offering in a church service, whether you're producing a track in the studio, whether you're writing a song, or you are at a shed, we want to give you the tools that you need in order to play grooves, and not just to play the chords, but for you to understand the concepts behind enhancing those chords so that your grooves are you, that you are putting you in everything that you are playing. And we want to give you the framework, we want to give you the concepts to make that happen. So I want to take a few moments and show you exactly what's in this course. Play a basic the first time. That's the first piece. That's the minor 9. The dot change up here. Okay, so let me take a second to talk about what's coming in your download when you purchase this course. Now, this may look slightly different when you get it because we'll be adding some content to this between the time that I'm recording this to when we're actually going to release the actual training. But you're going to get your grooves, in which you can see here where we're going to discuss 5 different grooves. But then we're also going to give you some bonus content. We've actually recorded some web classes, preaching chords and shout music and things of that nature. And so that's going to be available to you via download. Let me just click on this chord books part because to the grooves that we break down, we want to make sure that you have a visible representation of the chords, just in case you need a quick reference. You don't necessarily want to go through my entire breakthroughs again. You just want a quick reference to kind of go back and look at those chords. We give you that, and we give it to you for multiple grooves, but not just the chord books, but we've also created practice tracks for you. So why don't we just go to Groove 1? You see that we have Groove 1 with drums only. We have Groove 1 with no guitar, because this particular groove I put a guitar track to. And then we have just Groove 1. So why don't I just quickly just push play on this so you can hear what this groove sounds like. And so you'll actually be able to download this, and you'll be able to put your headphones in, and you'll be able to play to this track, practice the concepts that we teach you and that we break down. But then you're also going to have room to get creative and to add your own content. Let's do it with my chords. Okay, so I'm gonna play the same chord structure for the most part, but now I'm going to utilize my left hand some more. So we go. Okay, so I know some people are going to already ask me, who is this course for? This course is designed for those who have beginner basic level content, or I should say concepts. You you kind of know your number system, and you kind of know those other concepts, but you want to move from a beginner sound to more of an intermediate and advanced sound. This course was designed for you, but really it's for anybody who wants to learn how to play smooth grooves on the piano, those who want to discover how to take basic chords and create something more robust and even more fat voicings. Also, it's for anyone who wants to begin to unpack fat chord progressions. We have all of those concepts that are in various places throughout this course. Now, what are you going to get when you get this course? You are going to get my 5 concepts that I talk about that are going to help you to understand grooves and to really put a framework around your, not just groove playing, but your groove development, because you want to be able to develop your own grooves. You're going to get my note-by-note breakdowns of all 5 of these various grooves that I'll show you. We're also going to be showing you some tips, and we're going to show you some tricks. We're going to give you some improvisational techniques, because you don't just want to know the basic structure of grooves. You want to know the different places in which you can add your own flavor, your own flair to it, and we're going to show you how to do that. You're also going to get the practice tracks. You can work out these concepts. I want you to be able to work them out in rhythm. One of the things that changed my practice strategy was when I began to practice the way that I'm going to perform. Some people just play chords and they're just working on chords, but they don't practice in rhythm. They don't practice in time. We wanted to give you the practice tracks so that you can take that in your own practice time. I'm also going to break down a devotional groove, song like I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. We even have a tomcat voice singing that song so that you can hear that played behind, you hear the chords played behind somebody singing. So we're actually going to give you that to practice as well. We're also going to include our Shout Lab training as a bonus. So you'll be able to work on your shout music, your shout breaks, and other concepts related to shout music. I also have some web classes. I have a web class on preacher chords in here, and then I also have a web class on using the sus2 chord. And so you get all this and you get more that we're not talking about here, but I really want this to be a course that is going to bless you and really help you as you begin to navigate how you are going to play grooves. And we wanted to make sure that we're covering various areas of playing gospel piano grooves.